Hey KCC families, this is Angela here, and we are so excited that you are joining us on our family Bible reading plan through the entire New Testament this year. No matter what age kids that you have, we encourage you to come join us as we dig into God's Word and see what He has to say to us. So we have started out this last week in the book of Matthew. Matthew is the very first book of the New Testament. Obviously, we know that Matthew was one of Jesus' 12 disciples. He was a tax collector before Jesus called him. And when Jesus called him, he immediately left what he was doing to follow Jesus. What an incredible blessing that we get to read his words as he was following Jesus firsthand. As you got started reading in Matthew, you probably saw in chapter 1, if you've already read it, it talks about the genealogy, which is a whole bunch of names of all the different descendants that lead up to the life of Jesus. Then we get to the end of chapter 1 and chapter 2, where it talks all about the birth of Christ. This is one of the two accounts that we have in the Bible, the other one being in Luke, that talks about the birth of Jesus Christ. After we read through that, then we read into the person of John the Baptist, who is Jesus' cousin, and how he has come and he is preparing the way for Jesus. Not only does chapter 3 talk about the life of John the Baptist and his ministry, but chapter 3 actually ends with the baptism of Jesus himself. What an incredible story. Here are some questions that you can discuss as a family. The first is, why do you think the genealogy of Jesus is listed in the Bible? What are some things that we can learn from the genealogy of Jesus? Another great question to ask is, how did God speak to Joseph and Mary in these stories? How does God speak to us today? And a great question to ask when you're reading the third chapter of Matthew is, what are the things that we notice about John and his ministry? What are the details about him? How did he dress? How did he talk? Where did he live? What was really important to John about his message that he shared? And don't forget to talk about the baptism of Jesus. Why did Jesus get baptized? And why should we get baptized? We hope and pray that you are having some wonderful discussions together as a family as you're reading through the book of Matthew. Remember, his word is living and active. And we know and we trust that God's word will not return void as you read together as a family. We can't wait to continue this journey with you this next week as we keep diving into the book of Matthew.